Good morning, everybody. Today we are at Crownhill Cemetery in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I've done videos here before, but it's been a few years. And today I thought that we'd stop by because we're on our way to something else. But there's some interesting things I want to show you in this cemetery, and one of the most famous residents here I didn't really cover too much on last time, so let's go take a little look. Now, just as you come in the cemetery, you turn left and there's this giant bridge right here. But as you go by, I'm not exactly sure what this is, but it caught my attention. It's a very interesting statue, and this thing is probably a good 10 feet tall. In celebration and memory of Patrick Kennedy, 1935 to 2000, and Myrna Kennedy, 1941 to 1998. Crownhill Tree Program. Here's a little look at the bridge that you drive under to get to the rest of the cemetery. There's some interesting artwork on the walls here. This is a really interesting place, though. There's a lot of interesting people laid to rest here, and a lot of historical figures. But sometimes you have to take in some of the other sites when you visit these places. There is a marker designating where this one is. He's just up the hill, but this is former President Benjamin Harrison. He was the 23rd President of the United States from 1889 to 1893. And he was also a Civil War veteran. He was a supporter of President Lincoln, even dating back to the Civil War. He lived in Indianapolis. He passed away in his Indianapolis home. I have done a video from that location as well. And we came to visit the Benjamin Harrison grave site about 3 years ago, but it wasn't in very much detail. And I definitely could have done a better job, so we're stopping back today. Benjamin Harrison and Carolyn Scott Harrison. And they have a really nice setup here. The walkway, you just want to be very careful that you don't trip and fall and roll down the hill. That wouldn't be fun for anybody. Here is Mary Lord Harrison, who was Benjamin Harrison's second wife. The president is laid to rest right over here. Over here we have Carolyn Scott Harrison, the first wife of Benjamin. And over here is Russell. And over here is the family marker. You can see Harrison there. There's usually a wreath here. Benjamin Harrison, August 20th, 1833 to March 13th, 1901. Very beautiful spot. And this is a really historic cemetery. And we're going to go up the hill and I'm going to show you a couple other things too. But this is a really fascinating place to come and check out. Now, as we're over here, I was really curious as to what this was, and I've never walked down to check it out, so I'm going to do that now, and we're going to go together and learn what this is. It looks like a mini castle. And this is intriguing too. But you always want to make sure to try your best to step over graves. Ezekiel McDonald, age 27 years. Very interesting. But just over here, now I did not look this up ahead of time, so if any of you know who this is, for Teeter, this is really, really cool. You really don't see things like this very much. It's like the full castle. You have the drawbridge right out front. Top says McAllister. How cool is this? You know, that would be kind of an interesting thing to be able to say, you know, when I go, just build me a castle and that will be good. That is really, really neat. Crownhill Racing Legends. There's several racing families and people that had to do with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway that are laid to rest here. So they have this little memorial here and some bricks. Now as you go to the top of the hill, the very top of the cemetery, you can see the Indianapolis skyline in the background. And up here are a couple of really interesting grave markers, tombs, crypts. Earl Townsend Jr. and Emily McNabb Townsend. Not sure who they are, but that these have always intrigued me. And this one here is kind of like, I don't even know how you would explain this. But this one I've always thought was a very beautiful monument. Sophie Ramp Schwitzer. That is really neat. Over here is the Fortune Crypt. And over here is one of the more known and notable people here. And this is James Whitcomb Riley. Now, these are usually very heavily visited sites. We'll walk up here in a second. But a really neat place. James Whitcomb Riley, a poet and a writer. And he has the best view of Indianapolis that you could have. That is beautiful. Now, like I said, I have done a more detailed video here highlighting a lot more people that have been laid to rest here, but there's still one left that I want to show you that is very historic and very notorious. So let's go take a look at him next. Now, the other notable and notorious name here is just over here, and you know the name. I've done videos of him on the channel, but that man is John Dillinger. This is a family plot. This right here is Lizzie Fields, and I believe that was his stepmother, and then John Dillinger's father, and then Molly Dillinger, who passed away early on. That was John Dillinger's mother. And I guess you could say the man of the hour, John Dillinger, 1903 to 1934. Lived a pretty short life, but given everything he did in his life, I guess he could be thankful for that. But as you can see around the corners, just like Al Capone's grave, people chip away at this. But I definitely wanted to show you this while we're here. But that's all we have for you today from Indianapolis. We will catch you on the next video. Thanks and take care.